Welcome to this episode of NFL Tea Time. I'm Meredith Foreman, joined by Bill Belichick, and it's week 17. We're looking into week 18 of the regular season. It has just flown by, George. And for the Patriots, it's been the same way that it's kind of been for them all season. They get close to beating the Bills, can't do it. And here they are now with a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. And this Jets game that they have this weekend actually does have some pretty big draft implications for them. How do you see that going?
I don't know how I see it going. I give the Patriots the edge because you have two really good defenses. Talent-wise, the Jets have the clear advantage. But when it comes to the offensive side, the Patriots have more to work with. Bailey Zappi has a higher floor, much higher ceiling than Trevor Siemian, can actually throw the ball downfield, and there can be some semblance of a game flow. But the Pats' offensive line's depleted. We'll see if Trent Brown's even active when it comes to game day, and that's against a really good Jets front seven. This game being in Gillette, give the advantage to the Patriots. I anticipate a Sunday, 1 p.m. Gillette Stadium being half empty. Like, not even Jets fans will show up. So this is a game where it does, like you said, it comes down to what can the Patriots do for their draft? Because right now they have a top 5 pick locked in. If they lose to the Jets, that's a top 3 pick. And that for them can be the difference between a Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Caleb Williams, or getting offensive tackle, or maybe a really good receiver in Malik Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr. So there's so much volatility when it comes to Sunday. For the Pats, again, I give them the advantage against the Jets, but it would be so Jets for them to go in and ruin this for the Patriots. But on the flip side, Bill Belichick hates New York. And you can imagine if he's on his way out of New England, last thing he wants that to do is be ended with a loss to the Jets.
That's right, George. And the Patriots have 15 straight wins over the Jets right now. Can't really see that going any differently. Also, you're going to be at the game. There might be some snow, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, we haven't had much snow this year.
And I guess even with that, if you take the snow into the effect, Breece Hall's been playing out of his mind the last 2 weeks for the Jets. So maybe that plays advantage to them. But again, Patriots with a top 3 run defense, one of the best in the NFL. They kept James Cook bottled up. They kept everyone in check the last few weeks. So it's a matter of who's going to be healthy for the defense. Hopefully Jabril Peppers returns to the lineup. That'd be huge for the Pats. But again, I'm cheering for draft position. I'm cheering for a top 3 pick because history shows. And you can say, well, maybe they could get a Mike Penix in the second round. Maybe they could get a J.J. McCarthy later, but franchise quarterbacks by majority are found in the top 10 picks. And if you have a top 3 pick, you want to go quarterback because normally you're not there again.
Absolutely. And one of the things that has been a little bit overlooked heading into this game is the fact that it could be Bill Belichick's last game at Gillette Stadium. Now, of course, there's so much speculation about what the Patriots will end up doing with Bill when the season's over, if he'll part ways or if he'll stay with the team, if he'll continue coaching and give up his GM duties. There's, nobody really knows what's going on, but based on how this week is going, it doesn't look like the Patriots are planning to make any type of announcement about Belichick's future before that game. So when we talk about whether the stadium would be packed or not, I mean, it'd be one thing if people were like, okay, we know this is going to be Bill's last game. The Patriots are going to do something special for him on his way out. But, it seems like everybody's staying mum about it. Bill Belichick was asked. He said he's focused on the Jets right now. He's not focused on his coaching future. And as I've said to you, George, every single week, I think it would be a huge mistake for the Patriots to let Bill Belichick go. But based on everything we're hearing, it seems like it could go really either way.
Yeah, and I read that answer from Bill Belichick too. I heard it as well, and I think that's the right answer. And that just is a reflection of how he is as a head coach. No matter how big a win, no matter how bad a loss, he said we're moving on to the next week, and that trickles down to the players, and that's what's kept the Patriots so competitive every week. One thing I'll give Bill Belichick credit to is his defensive game plan. The last second half of the season has been iron tight, and give credit to Gerard Mayo and his son Steve Belichick there as well. But this is a team that's competing for him. At no point have they shown any sign of quit. And I bet if you're the defense, you walk away each week with going, we won. You have to feel that way because of the offense let them down. But it's a good point you make if it was Bill Belichick's last game. That's something I paid attention to when I was there for the Chiefs game. Something I'll be paying attention to Sunday. Will there be some sort of tribute on the Jumbotron? Will there be any moment for Bill Belichick? I doubt it though, because I think Robert Kraft isn't finite in his decision. And that's because he has to figure out, what do you do? Is it a mutual parting of ways? I say you trade Bill Belichick to the Commanders or Panthers. You get 2 draft picks in return because you need to build this team up. But I think it's a done deal. Even if Bill Belichick relinquishes the GM duties, I can't imagine a new head coach comes in, or I'm sorry, a new general manager comes in, makes personnel decisions, and Bill Belichick is okay with that because he's been so hands-on with his players. And if you just look at it, since 2019, 41-41 record. Since 2020, when Tom Brady left, 29-37, 1 playoff appearance. and you got ran out of the building by the Bills 47-17. It hasn't been good football. You haven't re-signed a top 3 draft pick and then taken the first 3 rounds since Duron Harmon. And Robert Kraft has said it. To me, success is winning in the playoffs, having success there. To me, you cannot build a team at free agency. You have to do it drafting. He's taking these subliminal jabs at what Bill Belichick is doing as a GM and the head coach has not been up to his standard and what he wants as a head coach the last 4 years.
And I will say, though, you can tell in these last few games of the regular season, it does seem like the players have been playing for Bill. I read an article in the Boston Herald where one of the reporters asked guys in the locker room, what has Bill Belichick's impact been on you? I mean, I think people are preparing for an inevitable or possible exit for Bill Belichick. And a lot of the guys said he's been a model of consistency, like through highs and lows. He's just the same person. He focuses on the game at hand, the week at hand, the task at hand, and nothing else really rattles him. And I do think that that makes a big impact on the players. The players all had really positive things to say about him in that realm, but like you said, it probably is a done deal at this point. Do I think it's a mistake? Yes.
Again, I think it's Bill Belichick, the head coach, did a job. Bill Belichick, the GM, failed him. And that's a thing. And I just can't imagine after doing one thing one way for 20 years, you're going to say now with, let's say at 71 years old, 3, 4, maybe 5 years left in the NFL, you're going to go, you know what? I'm going to shift my thinking. And this is part where Robert Kraft has given Bill Belichick full autonomy since he's been the head coach in New England until this last year where he basically went to him, hey, hire Bill O'Brien. I don't want to fail Mac Jones. That's a quarterback that's good on a rookie scale contract. That's crucial for building a roster. And Mac was broken. So you can say that, and it's not on Bill O'Brien. It's not only on Mac. It's not only on Bill Belichick. It's multiple parties. But I think it just comes to you've seen it one way, and it's been the last 4 years. You haven't shown any side of improvement. And to me, that's where the decision comes down to. You've seen such a big sample size for 4 years. The Patriots now in line. I mean, they locked up last place in the division. First time since 2000 that'll happen.
And it's, seeing the collapse of the Patriots over the last 5 years or so, obviously, since Brady left, has really been eye-opening. Now you see the Dolphins and Bills are going to be playing this weekend for the AFC East Championship. Patriots used to have that locked in every single year. I mean, they were the 1 seed. They knew that they'd be playing, the playoffs through Foxborough. Now it's just completely different. When you look at the Dolphins-Bills game, the Dolphins are a little bit banged up right now. Bills have gotten hotter later in the season, but Miami's always a tough place to play. How do you see that game going?
That's the same thing. I'm caught because they just lost Bradley Chubb to a torn ACL. Remember, no Jalen Phillips for the Dolphins either, tore his Achilles. Xavier Howard not expected to play, and that's their top corner. Yes, they have Jalen Ramsey opposite, but that's what it comes down to. I think it's a war of attrition when you get this late in the season. And the Rasul Douglas addition by Brandon Beane and the Bills has been huge because he's been a fantastic cornerback for them on the outside. But Tua Tagovailoa is expected to go. Tyreek Hill is expected to go. Same with Jalen Waddle. Devin Achane, he can carry the load, and we'll see if Raheem Mostert's back. But it's in Miami, and that's the catch for me because weird things happen there, especially when you go week 17, week 18, later in the year. Cold weather team like Buffalo Bills coming in. You're down to South Beach. The distractions are there. You play in the heat. Your bodies aren't used to it at this point. I give the edge to Miami because it's home field. And again, Josh Allen is the reason that the Bills are in this spot, especially since Joe Brady's taken on play calling. But look at him on Sunday. 2 fumbles, none of them lost. But day-to-day, game-to-game, what he can do, his highs and his lows as you hang on every play. And I think Josh Allen loses his game for them, especially going up against a defensive coordinator like Vic Fangio. I give the Dolphins this edge. It won't be pretty, but they're going to find a way to win at home.
I'm with you, George, on the Dolphins. And also, we have to remember that Miami Stadium has a lot of mental warfare around for the visiting team. They have these temperature clocks, I guess it's like thermometer-type clocks on the wall that show the temperature on the field, which is always way hotter down there than it actually is outside of the stadium. And it's just, I think it toys with people's mind.
When you said warfare, I was expecting to say like shuttles to King of Diamonds or 11 or something, but they keep it.
Hey, that's temptation too for them. All right, but now as we look ahead to the Super Bowl, that's about a month away. The Bills now look like they have a shot at making a Super Bowl run, but we look at the 49ers, the Ravens, the Cowboys, other teams around the league right now that are getting hot when it counts. The Ravens, we really can't sleep on them. And when we talk about the Dolphins, the Ravens just crushed the Dolphins 56-19. They're the clear top seed in the AFC. Do you see them making it to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's because the AFC is wide open. And again, this is a poor reflection on Bill Belichick. Like, if you put together a good roster on offense with this elite defense, you could be in the mix too. I don't give it to the Chiefs. Their offense is going to let them down. Mahomes doesn't trust any of his weapons. I don't really give it to anyone else within that conference. I just think the Ravens, because they have the best defense in the NFL, in my opinion. Kyle Hamilton has to be healthy for them because he does it all. But they have the league MVP, in my opinion, too. Lamar Jackson. He's a straw that stirs the drink for them. Numbers don't jump off the charts for you, but this is a team where he could go out and throw 5 touchdowns in a win over the Dolphins, or go out and account for 3 touchdowns in a win at San Francisco. They've shown it on both sides of the ball what they can do. I think the coaching staff as well. Lamar Jackson, he finally has weapons. It all comes together. I like the Ravens in the Super Bowl. I love the Niners, too. I just think we saw what that defense did against Brock Purdy. Hey, it'll be a chess match. I see him meeting Super Bowl. It stinks. It's chalk. The Niners are the best. The Ravens are the best. I don't see anyone else in the NFC. I really don't see anyone else in the AFC.
And you see just how special players on this Ravens team feel about this group of players. Odell Beckham Jr. said, I think this is the best team he's ever played on since he's been in the league.
And he won a Super Bowl with the Rams.
Yeah, exactly. And you see how the Ravens, built that receiving core up for Jackson, and it pays off. It comes down to, you look at what the Patriots didn't invest in versus what a team like the Ravens did invest in. And I'm not saying Lamar Jackson and Mac Jones are similar at all, but when you do invest in your offensive weapons, it just goes to show how big of a difference it makes.
Well, and that's a great point you make, because they haven't done it for so many years. They went out, drafted Rashad Bateman. He's not a wide receiver 1. And it came to the point, get Lamar help. They signed him to the big contract, but surround him with talent. They drafted Zay Flowers out of Boston College, who's been a great playmaker. They got a vet like Odell Beckham Jr., who knows how to win. They got guys on the defensive side like Kyle Van Noy. They didn't just invest in the quarterback, get coordinators to go, all right, we're cool, let's see what happens. They invested in an elite quarterback, and then they doubled down, getting elite talent around him, other side of the ball. I just love what the front office, who the Ravens are always exceptional in that spot, but I love what they've done.
Yeah, you know what, George? I'm going to say it's going to be a 49ers-Ravens Super Bowl. Honestly, I think that'll be a good game, too.
Who do you have winning?
I have the Ravens winning.
Nice. Like it. Me too.
So we'll see. And obviously, Lamar Jackson is MVP.
Yes, love that, too. You look at 29 total touchdowns. I know Brock Purdy has better numbers passing-wise, but he's a guy that does it all, could hurt you multiple ways. And again, he drives that offense. If I was to give it to anyone in the Niners, give me Christian McCaffrey, but I say Lamar Jackson for MVP.
And, George, things in Foxborough are different. There could be a lot of changes coming with Bill Belichick, but one thing's certain, there won't be any playoff games going through Foxborough this year, unfortunately. I mean, you think about when I started my career, I think they made it to 6 straight AFC championships while I was there, and that becomes the norm. And now things are just so different that you have to think, for fans, it's a harsh reality check of what it's like being a fan of any other team in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. Their last playoff win was winning Super Bowl in the 18-19 season.
Right.
Last time Tom Brady won a playoff game for the Patriots. Nuts.
Last week of regular season games. This was NFL Tea Time. We're heading into week 18. Thanks for joining us.
PNC Bank, rooted in communities big and small.